I'm Taylor.
And I'm Cameron.
And we're part of the Georgia Criminal Justice Reform Advocates.
In early January, Governor Kemp proposed a budget reform which would cut spending on our state's accountability courts and public defender system.
As acting governor of Georgia for 8 years, Nathan Deal set up added funding for these accountability court programs. He did this in an attempt to give veterans, those who are struggling with addiction, or those who are mentally ill the opportunity to avoid jail time and instead join programs which assisted them with rejoining society following the committing of a low-level crime.
Accountability courts in Georgia offer programs for those convicted of low-level offenses which require them to stay sober, seek treatment, and get a job following their conviction, rather than spending needless time in jail costing Georgia taxpayers more of their hard-earned money. Additionally, Georgia's accountability courts on average save Georgians $5,000 per person versus the cost of prison time that each of these people would have served for their low-level offenses. Not only do these courts save Georgia money initially, but they also reduce the likelihood that an offender will commit another crime and end up back in the criminal justice system by almost 10%, which saves Georgians even more taxpayer money in the long run.
The budget cuts proposed by Governor Kemp seek only to hurt Georgians and cost taxpayers more money in the long run by cutting much-needed funding to accountability courts for the state. While this is true, the budget cuts proposed by Governor Kemp also impact the Georgia public defender system negatively.
Governor Kemp's proposed budget cuts of 4 to 6% for the state agencies could result in as much as $3.5 million being taken out of Georgia's public defender system. These cuts would cripple the public defender system, and it has raised concerns about the appellate branch being shut down entirely due to lack of funding, according to the Office of the Appellate Defender's Director, Brandon Bullard. This would strip hundreds of Georgians of their right to the representation guaranteed by the Supreme Court's decision under the 1963 case Gideon v. Wainwright. The lack of access to public defenders would also contribute to a reversal of the downward trend in the proportion of African Americans incarcerated in Georgia. Under Nathan Deal's criminal justice reforms, Georgia experienced record low numbers of African Americans incarcerated for nonviolent offenses. But without access to public defenders for indigent defendants, the decades-long devastation of impoverished African American communities will continue.
Governor Kemp's proposed budget cuts will only hurt Georgians and waste taxpayer money, which is why we're calling on the citizens of Georgia to oppose this budget proposal and alert your lawmakers to the need for funding in accountability courts and the public defender system in the state.